state alone, so many of our districts have been gerrymandered so that all of our people are packed into one district so that the whole rest of the state can be Republican. This has been done in Louisiana. It's been done in every southern state that the Republicans control. In Louisiana, we filed suit and said that we have 40% of the population in this state, and we demand that we get another seat in Congress. We filed suit, and with the help of the federal government, we have attained a second congressional seat that is going to be majority black. Here in North Carolina, the suit is being filed, and it's going through the court system to do the same here. But if we don't do what we need to do in November, that suit's going to disappear because they're going to get rid of the Civil Rights Division, and we will no longer be able to fight the gerrymandering that's going on by the Republicans down in Raleigh. I want to talk about health care. You all just received in the past couple of years the ability to have an expanded Medicaid provision where anyone in the state now can apply, if they are eligible, can apply for Medicaid and receive health care. That has increased the amount of people who are gained health insurance by leaps and bounds all across the states that have increased their Medicaid rolls. Well, if the other side has victory in November, they have pledged, as you saw recently, they have pledged to end all of the provisions that were passed by the Affordable Care Act, including the expansion of Medicaid. And who is that going to proportionally affect? The black and the Latino community. So we go on. Let's talk about education. Let's talk about education. In my state, in Louisiana, they are transferring all of the federal funds to go to private schools and going to give you vouchers to go to private, quote unquote, private schools. Schools that do not have any kind of testing to assure that your children are being taught what they need to be taught. No kind of oversight of what our children will be learning, studying, or anything. All of the schools in New Orleans have been chartered, which means that all of them are run by private entities who hire and fire teachers at will. Your child has a teacher 1 year, and the next year that teacher is gone. They are intentionally sabotaging our education system. Not to mention that a part of 2025 is getting rid of a lot of the subsidies that our kids use to go to college. The Pell Grants, the low-interest government-backed student loans, all of these things that we have used to enable ourselves to go to school, they are taken away because they want an undereducated society. Because the more you know how crooked their system is. We turn to environment. I drove in here today and I crossed the Neuse River Bridge. The water level, ladies and gentlemen, is higher than it was when I was here 4 years ago. And that water is going to get higher and higher and higher. Trust me, I know, because I'm from Louisiana. New Orleans suffered one of the greatest disasters in this country's history. And that can happen anywhere where you have that amount of water sitting at your doorstep. What does Project 2025 say? They want to get rid of FEMA. They want to get rid of the programs, flood insurance that is backed by the government. They want to get rid of all of these programs that help poor people rebuild after catastrophic storms. Because the goal is to empower the rich, to give money to the oligarchs, the billionaires, the people at the top, while we, the taxpayer, pay the burden for them to get richer. And lastly, we go to criminal justice. All they want to talk about is how this rapper I let out of jail, and this rapper I let out of jail, and this rapper I let out of jail. But ladies and gentlemen, our goal is not to have our kids go to jail in the first place. I don't need you to tell me that you're going to let my son out of jail, because I don't want my son in jail. And this is the kind of thing that we are being told, that we are being sold. As I drive in here, I see all of the signs for this disgrace, and I call it a disgrace. Because if you had watched the other night, how can any God-fearing human being on earth say that they are going to support something like that? So I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, and I come here not, I have this shirt on, and I come here with signs, and I come here to sign people up. I have a sign-in sheet here that I'm going to pass around. But I've come here to say that we are in a fight that we as a people have not seen since the 1960s. We have not seen, we talk about and show movies about Martin Luther King and about all of the people who have graced this church, who have graced all the different churches around this state and around the South, and talked about what they did and what they were going to do. Well, let me tell you, we are facing the same exact challenge, and we need to stand up to that challenge. My grandfather and mother could not vote. If they voted, they had to vote Republican. If they didn't vote Republican, they were shut out of being a Democrat, because the Democrats controlled all of the South. And the reverse has happened now. The Republicans control all of the South. They've gerrymandered and rigged all of our elections in the South. And the only way we can fight back from that is that we have this opportunity in these swing states. That's why I am here in this state, because you all have the opportunity and the power to stop them. Because you have the fortune to live in a state that is a 50-50 state. So many of our people live in a state where their vote, they feel, does not count. In Louisiana, we feel our vote does not count. But you all's vote counts. And we need every single one of you all to go to the polls, not just with yourselves, but with the people who you know and love, your neighbors, the people of all of New Bern and of all of North Carolina, and join in this fight, because we cannot afford to lose. I want to thank you, New Bern. And I'm passing around a pen and a sign-up sheet. We want to get your name, and I have signs and stuff in the rear of the church. But please make sure that you get your neighbors, your friends, anyone you know, strangers in the street, and get them to the polls, because we need you not just for North Carolina, but the people of this country need you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. As we've learned today, Project 2025 is a serious piece of proposed legislation that we need to take seriously. Amen? program